Hello, everyone. It is I, CM Freeze, with my 2025 NFL quarterback ranking. Now, last year I made a quarterback ranking video. I felt like it did pretty good. Maybe I'll revise that. But so as you can see in this video, I have a tier list. I know a lot of people just kind of want to look at the tier list and then immediately go into the comments and be like, how do you have this quarterback above this quarterback? Like, I didn't want to draw out the video and make this a 30-minute video where I go number 32 or anything like that. I'm just going to give you my tier list. Going to be a quick video. I'm just going to kind of go down in order here, explaining everything. I guess first thing I'll do is explain the rookies. I'm just doing starters as well. I'm just doing the 32 projected starters. I'm not adding like Kirk Cousins or Spencer Rattler or anyone like that. So for my knowledge, Cam Ward is going to be starting for the Titans rookie, and Tyler Shuck's going to be starting for the Saints rookie. JJ McCarthy obviously was drafted last year, but he's going to be starting for the Vikings and hasn't played a game. And yes, Michael Penix Jr. isn't a rookie. He started 3 games last year for the Falcons. I think that's probably impossible to judge him on those 3 games and put him here in a tier list. So yes, I'm not ranking Michael Penix Jr. because he's only started in 3 games, and I'd have no clue really where to put him. You can't really judge him off those 3 games. Now, let's get started in here. Patrick Mahomes is number 1 for me. I think the only other quarterback you could even put in that conversation for number 1 is Josh Allen. However, yes, Mahomes had an off season last year. Yes, Mahomes did probably had his worst season since his rookie year last year, and he still made the Super Bowl. I understand that Mahomes has a good supporting cast, a good defense, Andy Reid, who's probably the best head coach in football. I understand that Mahomes has all the pieces, but Mahomes, since starting, has never not at least made the AFC Conference Championship game. Mahomes has made the Final Four in, 7 straight years now, I think? 7 straight years? Mahomes is just a winner, man. He just finds ways to win games, and I understand that a lot of those ways are just absolute BS cheese, but Mahomes is still the top dog. Mahomes is still the top quarterback. You can say, well, these quarterbacks have better stats. Mahomes just has more clutch wins. Mahomes just is still Mahomes. And why I have Josh Allen too is Josh Allen just hasn't been able to beat Mahomes. Josh Allen has yet to make a Super Bowl. Why? Because he loses to Patrick Mahomes every single year. That's just how it goes. And I understand that Josh Allen plays really good in those games, but he just hasn't been able to beat Mahomes. And I know the quarterback is only one player, right? And maybe you at home are able to put Josh Allen above Patrick Mahomes, but until Josh Allen beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs and makes it to the Super Bowl, I do not feel comfortable doing that. And then Joe Burrow here at 3 and Lamar Jackson here at 4, you can 100% change those. If you put Lamar Jackson at 4 and Lamar at 3 and Joe Burrow at 4, I'm 100% okay with that. The only reason I have Burrow ahead of Lamar is because Burrow's made a Super Bowl. That's really what it is. And Lamar Jackson hasn't been that good in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson has never won 2 games in a single year's playoffs. He is 3-5 in the playoffs, and he's only won 1 game. He won a wild card and then lost a divisional. He won a wild card and then lost a divisional. And then I believe 2024, they were the 1 seed. They won the divisional, but then lost the conference championship game. I know that this year when Lamar played the Buffalo Bills, that loss was not really on him. But like I said, I think that Lamar and Joe Burrow are easily the 3rd and 4th best quarterbacks in the NFL, only behind Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, and they are interchangeable. Just, I know Joe Burrow has that Super Bowl win, and obviously Joe Burrow has worse coaching. Joe Burrow's had a terrible defense the last couple of years and still puts up MVP type numbers and tries to win games. It's interchangeable, but I personally have Burrow at 3. Then I made a whole different tier for Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts, because Herbert and Hurts, in my opinion, aren't good enough to be S tier, but they aren't on the same echelons as these other quarterbacks here in the A tier. Herbert and Hurts deserve their own tier. Last year, I actually did have Herbert in the S tier, and I still do believe that Herbert is the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. Just, I think those top 4 guys are a step above Herbert and Hurts. But I think that Herbert and Hurts are a step above those A-tier quarterbacks. I'm pretty sure that makes sense. Herbert, just his playoff success has been awful. He's had 2 playoff games and has looked like garbage in both of them. Last year specifically, that was bad. Herbert looked terrible against the Houston Texans last year in the playoffs. So bad where I think that Herbert isn't in that upper echelons anymore. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes have a step on Herbert. So Herbert's going to have to take another step up if he wants to be an S-tier quarterback. I need to see him win a playoff game, man. I really do. And then Jalen Hurts, he's a great quarterback as well. Obviously, he's surrounded by the most talent. That Eagles defense was suffocating last season. He's got Saquon Barkley. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got Devontae Smith. He's got an excellent O-line. Obviously, that's not on Jalen Hurts. You know, the Eagles built a great team around him. How is that his fault? You know? Jalen Hurts still is a really good quarterback, but all the top 5 guys ahead of him have less to work with. I mean, maybe Mahomes doesn't, you know, but just everyone knows here what I'm talking about. If you know ball, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Jalen Hurts, he has Saquon. He's got one of the best defenses in the NFL. He's got weapons. He makes them work. He is really good at times, but he's just not top 5. He's just outside of here at 6. Then with the A tier, I feel pretty comfortable about Matthew Stafford being here. Jaden Daniels was really, really good last year, but he still is just a rookie. And then, honestly, the hardest thing for me was these 3 quarterbacks here. Goff, Baker, and Jordan Love. Honestly, all 3 of these guys can be interchangeable. I'm being so serious on that, and I actually can't even tell you why I put it in this order. More so gut feeling. Like, I'm being so serious. You could put Jordan Love here and do it like this. You could do it like this. You can do it anyway. Honestly, I've just done it like this because I know Love is more turnover prone, and I couldn't even tell you why I have Goff over Baker Mayfield. Honestly, Baker probably should be over Goff, and this is probably how it should be. Like, I'm so torn between Goff and Baker here. I'm literally so torn. It could go either way. It could seriously go either way here. I'm going to keep it like this, but if you put Baker over Goff, I 100% understand. Then we're getting into the B tier here, where I feel pretty comfortable about the B tier. If you want to interchange some of these guys, you totally can. I would 100% get it. But me personally, I like this list. Dak Prescott a couple of years ago was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and was for sure top 5. Or I mean top 10. For sure top 10. Last year, he had a down year. Dak Prescott just has not looked the same as he has a couple of years ago, but I expect Dak Prescott to have a good year this year. Then you got CJ Stroud, who had an off sophomore year. He definitely did not look as good as he did his rookie year, but he did look really good in the playoff game against the Los Angeles Chargers and actually looked really good in that game. I feel comfortable about putting CJ Stroud here. Then Brock Purdy is basically just a downgraded Jalen Hurts, where Brock Purdy plays good, but he has a phenomenal supporting cast. And he's with Kyle Shanahan, who can make any quarterback good. So, who knows where exactly Brock Purdy deserves to be. Then I'm not that big on Kyler, but I think right here in the middle of the road of quarterbacks, what I think this is 11, 12, 13. I mean, he's quarterback 15, and I think that's a perfect spot for Kyler. He's probably, an average quarterback in the NFL. He's probably in that, 15 to 20 range. I think they're exactly at 15. Kyler Murray shows flashes, but I don't ever think he's going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. In fact, I would put my entire reputation that Kyler Murray will never win the Super Bowl. Then you got Sam Darnold here, who was really good last year. However, it was his first year that he was good in his entire career. So at 5-6 years now, Sam Darnold finally had a good season. Now he's going to Seattle. Let's see if that was a fluke or not. Then you got Geno Smith, who I know some people are high on Geno. I don't know if this is low compared to what the league thinks of Geno, but I'm not a real Geno guy. Geno Smith has started in 5 years. Has started for 5 years, and he's only made the playoffs one time, and he lost that playoff game. I know Geno Smith has been good for the Seattle Seahawks, but he was their starter for 3 years. Took him to the playoffs only one time. They lost that playoff game. He's incredibly mediocre. I think Geno Smith is a very, very average quarterback. Now he's going to the Las Vegas Raiders, where I think he'll be average. I think he'll be an upgrade on what the Raiders have had the last couple of years, but I think Geno Smith is a very average quarterback in the NFL. Very, very average. Then you got Trevor Lawrence, who I would say that Trevor Lawrence at his peak could be moved up to here, but Trevor Lawrence has not lived up to that number one overall pick height. Only made the playoffs in 1 year, and I believe he's either been in the NFL for 3 or 4 years now. And he's only, I think last year was year 4 for Trevor Lawrence. So he's only made the playoffs 1 time in 4 years as the number one overall pick. Let me just confirm that it's been 4 years, so I don't make myself look like an idiot. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence has only made it 4 years. Trevor Lawrence has played for 4 years, only made the playoffs once. He only looked good in that year. So Trevor Lawrence actually looked really good his sophomore year. And besides that, looked really bad as a rookie. Last year he was hurt and didn't play that well. Junior year was also hurt too. I feel like this is a fair spot for Trevor Lawrence. Maybe even Bo Nix is better than Trevor Lawrence, honestly. Bo Nix had a really good rookie season. A very underrated rookie season for Bo Nix. Honestly, Bo Nix actually could be higher than this, but he is only a rookie, and I think that just goes to show how good of a rookie season Jayden Daniels had. Jayden Daniels played lights out and looked phenomenal as a rookie, and Bo Nix also played really good as a rookie, and you can see how many quarterbacks are in between these two. With Caleb Williams, too, I mean, Bo Nix did better than Caleb Williams. I understand that Bo Nix probably had a better supporting cast, at least he definitely had a better O-line, probably had a better defense. I guess that's a conversation for a different day. This is probably the second hardest decision for me. The hardest one hands down was between Goff and Baker. I actually, like I said, I still feel so unsure about Goff and Baker. The second hardest one for me is Bo Nix and Caleb Williams. And more so, it feels weird putting Bo Nix in B tier and Caleb Williams in C tier. It really does. I mean, honestly, do I do something like this? Like, this also feels weird too, but, I mean, maybe this is how I'll do it. Well, we'll see what happens. You guys get the gist, though. It's like, I do think that Bo Nix was better than Caleb Williams last season. But they're both rookies, and I think Caleb Williams definitely has more potential than Bo Nix. I think when it's all said and done, Caleb Williams is going to have a better career than Bo Nix. He'll be a better player than Bo Nix. But Bo Nix was better last season. But Caleb Williams got a massive upgrade to his own line, got a massive upgrade to his weapons, and Caleb Williams should be better than Bo Nix by the end of the season. So at the start of the season, we have it like this, but Caleb Williams very much has the potential to go up into A tier at the end of the season. Very much so. But I guess there's not much more I can talk about that, but that's where it's at. Then you got these C tier guys. These are the guys where if they're their starter for your team, you're fucked. Well, I guess that's not entirely true, because Drake May is a rookie and Drake May has potential to grow. And honestly, Bryce Young looked good at the end of last season. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that, but Bryce Young kind of balled out. Now, you got to remember Bryce Young also got benched in that season as well. Bryce Young started the season, looked terrible, got benched, and then came back and actually balled out like the last 5 games of the season. So Bryce Young looked really good for five games, the last 5 games of the year. Maybe now with Tedero McMillan, Bryce Young has more weapons. I think Adam Thielen went to the Carolina Panthers. So who knows? Maybe Bryce Young can move himself up. But he's had 5 good games in his entire career. Like, who are we kidding here? Then we got Tua. I'm very down on Tua. Tua just doesn't have good arm strength. Tua does not play good in cold weather. Like, that's known. I'm pretty sure Tua hasn't won a game in under 32-degree weather. Like, Tua plays in a very scheme-heavy bit where he has to go, where if he has to improvise and go out of the scheme, he just looks terrible. I'm not big on Tua Tagovailoa at all, and I'm not sure he has much room to improve at all as well. I think he's kind of hit his ceiling, and his ceiling is not good. Like I said, Drake May's a rookie, so Drake May could obviously go up as well, but out of the 4 rookie quarterbacks that started last year, Drake May definitely was the least impressive. He did also start the least amount of games, probably had the worst supporting cast, so we'll see what happens this year. And then, like, the rest of these guys, man, like Russell Wilson at least can sometimes make plays with his legs and doesn't turn the ball over that much. Aaron Rodgers, wolf. Justin Fields has not been good at all. Honestly, you could probably put Justin Fields up here just because he's young and can make plays with his legs too, but I don't know, man. And then D tier, like, why the hell is Joe Flacco starting for the Cleveland Browns? Like, I'm being so dead ass. Why is Joe Flacco currently the #1 quarterback starting for the Cleveland Browns? It was kind of fun with him in Cleveland a couple years ago, but let's be dead ass right now. Why is he starting? And then Anthony Richardson has been a complete bust. It's been 2 years, and 2 years Anthony Richardson's looked terrible. He got hurt his rookie season pretty early on, and then last year was garbage too. He had a touchdown to interception ratio of 8 touchdowns to 12 picks. Anthony Richardson looked awful last year. It's only been 2 seasons, but he looks so much like a bust. I mean, Daniel Jones was brought in to be his competition, and currently he's tied with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones might beat out Anthony Richardson for the starting job of the Colts. It's not looking good for Anthony Richardson, and he even hurt himself again in training camp. Like, I just do not feel good about Anthony Richardson at all. Maybe it's mean of me to put him below Joe Flacco. Like, maybe I can do this, but, like, he hasn't been good. Anthony Richardson hasn't shown anything. At least Joe Flacco has won games and kind of looked good for the Cleveland Browns. But I don't know, man. So this is my quarterback tier. But this has been my quarterback tier ranking list for 2025. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with anything. I think this is a really solid list. Like I said, I'm sure that there are some players that you can justify being different. Like, I'm sure maybe Bears fans think Caleb Williams should be higher up. Or, like I said, I could totally make arguments for Baker Mayfield being higher here. I'm sure Ravens fans are going to say Lamar Jackson should be #1 or something like that. I don't know. But I think this is a really good list. I don't think there's anything outrageous here. But if you guys see something outrageous, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.